Toy Tractor Times is here with Chris Steeb at the 2018 Lafayette Farm Toy Show in Indianapolis. And Chris and I worked together on a display. It's got a Massey Ferguson theme. And Chris, we just kind of had some fun with this, wanted to show people about the Toy Tractor Times. And why don't you tell us about what you built?
What I've got here is, Jason challenged me to see if I could do something that wasn't my typical red dirt. So I thought it'd be fun and give it a try. So what it is, it's a grain drying operation of a farm in upstate New York area.
We've got a grain dryer. This grain dryer here you see with the steam coming out is what inspired the display. I talked to Chris. I bought this dryer from Andrew Winchittle, and it's all made out of brass. And I simply had asked, can you make a lean-to kind of shed to put over it that keeps the rain off the dryer? And we ended up with a whole kind of mini display that lights up, and it's really cool, Chris.
Yeah, the pictures that Jason sent me of the display, you're of the real farm, you could picture in the background that it had a little old machine shed, and it didn't. We took a little liberty. It didn't have some grain bins, but I figured the grain bins would make it so you could get some good Model Farm Monday pictures or so, and you wouldn't have to work on a backdrop in the background. The barn, some of you might recognize, it was the barn that accidentally caught on fire on my 2017 National Farm Show display. Got repurposed over here. I still love the shed, but like I said, I burned it up on my display, so we had to reuse it somewhere. And one theme I went with this one and had a little fun, like I said, was the lights, and everything on here is kind of older and weathered. Like I said, playing with the Masseys. We've got one of the 1105s on the shredder and a 1080 on the dryer.
Yeah, let's walk through that. So we got the 1105 here on the Brilliant flail shredder.
Yeah, the 1105 is one of two of the prototypes of mine that hopefully within the next year and a half I should have some die-cast ones coming out.
And then I guess we'll just kind of walk it through here, because some of these are Chris's and some are from my collection. Yep. I've got a Versatile 256 bi-directional parked here, and then we've also got a Versatile Candy Stripe 975 over here with a DMI ripper. And I put these on here for Mike Less, who's got a great YouTube channel. Mike works for Versatile. It's Mike Less on YouTube, and he was here at the show today, so I thought it'd be fun to have these Versatiles on hand.
And you saw a lot of farms that actually ran both Versatile and Massey in my area even. Another little neat piece that we brought out for the show, a lot of people haven't got to see in person, is the beautiful Western 98 that Chris Putnam did me from up in Canada.
It's really cool with the cab.
Yeah, he's scratch built the whole front end and made the cab for me.
And I actually just look at the Versatiles again. Jacob Larson, he had these at St. Louis, given a history of them. And then Chris Steeb, of course, who's here, is very nice to put together that 975 Candy Stripe. And you actually changed the engine out on that too.
Yeah, it went, because the original Toy Farmer casting had the V8 motor in it, and the real Candy Stripes all ran the 855 Cumminses, so we had to completely cut the motor out and swap it in for the inline 6 Cummins.
Cool. And one of the neat things that Chris did too is he put these light poles in the yard, so we've got that 1105 again under the light. And why don't we go over here and we'll take a look at this loader tractor. They got a lot of attention at the show today. It's under the other full light in the yard.
Like a little 165, 175 with a loader on it. The loaders are one of Sean Lockwood's kits. The Massey is all me.
Oh, it's very nice. And then we've got the come up and around here. Another thing that got a lot of attention is a Chevy pickup truck that Tony Dixon made for me. This looks like a truck that my neighbor had when I was growing up in Western New York, and I always liked that two-tone kind of sky blue metallic look with the white trim.
Yeah, Tony does some beautiful square body Chevys when he gets them done.
He sure does. And then we got some DMI gravity boxes from Aaron Jensen, and then a very nice looking Massey 1155. Why don't you tell us about this one, Chris? It's in your collection.
Well, yeah, that's one of the ones, like I said, my national display, I couldn't have a display without a Massey on it, so that was the one that was out front. It's a completely different front end weights, seam's been removed, movable 3-points hitch.
Very good. And then what tractor do we have in here powering the dryer?
That's actually a one-of-a-kind 1080 Massey. Took one of Dale Matson's 1130-ish castings, cut it in half, completely reworked the hood out of brass and the grill out of brass, because basically a 1080 was a 1100 Massey with the just a 4-cylinder 354 Perkins in it.
And you know, you can see still a little bit of, we've run out of steam, but you can see it kind of coming up. That's train smoker that you put in there, and so just a few drops under the dryer kind of sends that steam up. And we've got another Massey kind of parked in the side shed here that you made for me a few years ago.
Yeah, it's kind of the sister to that 165 with the loader that I made myself. Just one of, like I said, I wanted a little, you know, Massey utility, because it's kind of one of those niches that even some of the green guys have admitted that, you know, back in the day their grandfather or such had a Massey utility, because they definitely had the market cornered when they were the world's largest tractor manufacturer, and it was because of that 50 to 70 horsepower class.
They sure were. And I've got a top shelf Ford Louisville here on a first gear dump box, and then we've got the big load of corn with John Esche corn load set in a DCP East End dump trailer. And then I've got a first gear R-Mac that were very popular in New York where I grew up.
Another neat John Esche piece that you have on the display is the 2775s that he did us.
Yeah.
It's turned out gorgeous.
That's a really standout tractor with a V8 motor in it. And the other thing that got a lot of attention was your Massey disc, which I think was on the national display as well.
Kerry G did that beautiful 730 Massey disc for me to show off, like I said, behind a typical 150 to 200 horsepower Massey tractor. They were a normal common pairing in the brochures and in real life.
No, it's a nice, very nice disc. That disc and this loader tractor probably got the most attention of all the people looking at it today. And we kind of move around here to the front. This is another item that was at St. Louis on Jacob Larson's display, and that's a Massey Ferguson 850 combine with a 6-row corn head. And I thought it'd be neat to show the combine that's filling up the dryer. So it's parked for the night and in the shed.
Yeah, Jason was a little luckier than me to get his before I did, so he's kind of showing that off and teasing me. But she's a beautiful piece. If you guys need a true 860, 850, Jacob Larson is the man to see right now.
And then another great classic Massey. Massey had a big part of the 4-wheel drive market in the 80s with tractors like the 4880. This is in your collection.
Yeah, that's a Matt Hollingshed piece that he had up on eBay here a couple years ago that we all beat ourselves up. But for a Massey piece, there was no chance it wasn't coming to my house, no matter how much everybody else fought.
Matt does a really nice job. And just a few other implements. This is an International 800 10-bottom Flex Plow. This is a 3D print that I had made for my 2014 national display that came in second. And Chris, you were very nice to finish that out for me back then, and it just looks good teamed up with this tractor I know, a farm in New York, that plows with that exact matchup.
Yeah, like I said, at one time the 4900 was the world's largest true manufactured 4-wheel drives until you went to the short lines like Big Bud and Steiger and such like that.
And then one other tractor that came from that 2014 cornfield display is this Massey Harris. And it's got the flat tire. It's all weathered. That was something, again, that you made for me.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate it.
It was a neat piece. It started as a scale model wide front that I scratch built the brass wide front end for, and we changed out the wheels and tires, like I said, and then just took it down to a tractor, like I said, on this farm. It's probably was grandpa's, and, you know, someday it'll get restored and be up and running again to take to tractor shows and such.
And this tree, tell me about this tree, because that just, you know, I took some pictures earlier when the sun was on it. It just looks so realistic with the roots.
That's one of my early brass ones. We'll see in a little bit on another display. I'm getting better as I go along, but that one did turn out gorgeous. It's made out of phone wire and such. I'm going to post a tutorial on Toy Tractor Times on how to do them soon enough, because we were paying, you know, 50 to 60 bucks for a gorgeous tree from companies like Scenic Express, and by all means, you can still keep buying them. They're great, but I figured out a way that you can make them for yourself right down in about the $20 range. So
it's beautiful. I love the root system on it and the height. You know, it definitely dwarfs the tractors. And I'll just point out a couple other things. We got a 6-row cultivator here in the back, John Deere Cultimulcher. I poked in a Ford F350 spray truck in the back, and a Stolfus fertilizer spreader that was made by John Schomburg. it's back there. Chris, of course, always has a nice little junk pile, some tires and things tucked in the back corner. And then we've got a Case International grain drill and a Black Machine 12-row planter for 30-inch corn, and then it drops down to make a 15-inch row planter for beans. So I just thought that would kind of be a neat AGCO tie-in with all this Massey stuff here. So we'll give you one more look at the display. It just looks great with all the lights. And Chris, I really appreciate you putting that together for me, and so I can come out here and kind of show people what Toy Tractor Times is about and model farming.
Not a problem. And for you guys looking at building displays, this one I think is 24 by 30. It makes for really nice. If you can only have a display for your home place, you can get a lot of good pictures, as you'll see in this video, off it, and it will fit on top of like your dresser or your desk.
Yeah, and you can put it in the trunk of a car.
Yep.
And I can carry this in and out of here by myself.
Yeah.
So, this is a mini display. You've kind of set the trend for that. We used to be fighting over 4x8 boards and 2 4x8s, and now we're kind of going for high detail mini displays. But you kind of played a prank on some of the guys. Everybody's looking. Chris Steeb, is he coming to the show? What's he got? And you said you were bringing an 8x8 display.
I was bringing an 8x8, and I did not fib. I just didn't tell him it wasn't feet. It's inches. And it's over here. It's another one in my little Oklahoma Red Dirt series. I see that it's been bumped and my little cow is out of the rut that it walks up in. This was another one experimenting with this whole new tree design that is completely out of brass, with some grass clippings for the lower branches, and then Scenery Express's Super Leaf product. It has one of the new spec cast Fords that Brian Carson did with the Do Easy bed on it, had done up for us. Beautiful ranch truck right out of the package. The only things I've changed is the wheels and tires, marker lights, and the front bumper, which all available stuff on Shapeways. The farmer and obviously his son or so are out checking fence line. Got the little four-wheeler off my national display that's all detailed up. One little detail that a lot of people caught or didn't catch on this one that I did on Jason's barn in 2014 was a bird's nest with the fletchlings and a hawk on it, just to give it that little, shock and awe of something different.
That sure is. I hadn't noticed that myself, so that's pretty cool.
Jokingly told the guys who were coming here to compete that not only was I bringing an 8x8, but per square footage, I had more detail on this one than I did on my nationals. Another one, not a fib. I got more detail in this little spot than I do.
Well, I just, you look at the fence and the roots on these trees. I mean, again, I'm going to post some pictures on Toy Tractor Times Toy Talk of the Massey, the old Massey Harris there, sitting in the sunlight with the roots. It almost looks real. So you're doing a fantastic job, and we appreciate what you're doing for the hobby.
Oh, not a problem. I'm going to keep going and continue to watch Toy Tractor Times YouTube.
Thank you. And Chris is our all-time leader for Model Farm Monday on ToyTractorTimes.com Toy Talk. How many weeks are we up to here with continuous display posts?
I think in 1 or 2 weeks we'll be at 250 weeks straight of insanity.
Well, I appreciate you doing it. I know everybody looks forward to that, and you're a big part of Model Farm Monday. So thanks a lot, Chris.
Yep.